Hi everybody, welcome back to Technique Tuesday here in the MSV Makerspace. I'm going to be working some more on my watercolor, and I thought today would be a good time to talk a little bit about mixing colors. To do that, we need to talk a little bit about paint trays and palettes. I think just about everybody has had a watercolor set like this at some point in their life. The lid makes a great mixing tray, but if it's clear like this one, I would suggest using a piece of paper, paper towel, anything white really, underneath it. That way you can see what color you're actually mixing without the color of the table interfering. You can also get your watercolors in tubes, liquid form, and use them on palettes like this one from just about any craft or art supply store. There is a mixing well in the center for mixing your colors. Personally, I prefer an old dinner plate. Just make sure, again, that it's white so you can see what color you're mixing. The liquid watercolors you can use straight from the tube. Just be careful not to use too much. I like to put them on my palette ahead of time, let them set up and dry, and then they work very similar to the way the ones in the rectangle trays work. With a little bit of water, I can just start pulling some of that pigment right out into the middle of my tray. Maybe add a little red. And start to mix up some purple. Now, mixing on your tray is a great way to get a nice even tone if you're going to paint something that has a solid color to it. If you're going to paint something natural, trees, grass, even skin tones, there's a little bit of variation in the color. So I like to do some of my mixing on the tray, but a lot of mixing actually happens on the painting itself. Today I'm going to be working on the next layer of my painting. I've let the sky completely dry, and I'm going to work on the mountains. Keep working forward in the layers as I get closer and closer to the viewer. For this, I'm going to use a little bit of this purple, but I'm also going to mix some blues and greens and other colors in as well right on my painting. First step, of course, is to wet down the area I'm going to paint. I like working on a small board like this so that I can turn it to help me better get to different areas. I'm going to start applying my paint pretty thin at first, using a good bit of water. I can always make it darker. It's not so easy to make it lighter when you're talking about watercolors. Okay, I'm going to keep working on this. Thank you for joining us, and have some fun painting. I hope it helped.